Hi, welcome everyone. Eugene Hughes Motorized. Today we're going to do valve adjustment on my Royal Enfield Interceptor 650. It was quite a challenge. This was my 300-mile first service on this here, adjusting the valves, and the valve cover would not come off. Whoever welded the frame up left a nice big steaming blob of weld snot on the bottom of the frame here on the right hand side, and that 1/4 of an inch where that little blob of steel slag from the weld was down, that's what I needed to be able to lift the valve cover off and get it over the little block assembly, the valve block assembly on the cylinder head. So I ultimately ground it off before I put the valve cover back on. I lowered the engine a little bit in order to remove it, and that's not something you really want to be doing all the time, but now that I've mastered it, it's not going to be that big of a deal. But now that I've ground off the weld snot, I can do a valve adjustment inside of an hour. Pop the seat, remove the tank, remove the valve cover, go in, adjust my valves, put everything back together. An hour, I'm back on the road easily. Hey, give me a couple of cold brewskis sitting on the side and I'm good to go. But I drink non-alcoholic, so I'm not going to drink and drive. Those days are long gone. I'm an old man and I want to live to be a little bit older. So let me show you how I did it. Let me show you what I went through. And yep, I pulled all my hair out doing it, okay? So come on. So first thing you're gonna want to do is you're gonna remove the side cover, because we have to access the latch so we can remove the seat. You use your ignition key to unlock it. And then, yep, right there, just above the tool kit, you've got the seat release latch. Pull on it. Now, what we want to do is we want to remove the fuel tank. 10mm socket, whatever, wrench, loosen up those bolts, pull them out. Now, you've got to tilt the fuel tank up, and we're going to pull it back. See this here? This is the fuel tank removed, but those little brackets slip onto the rubber baby buggy bumpers on the frame to hold it in place. Now, see this right here? That's where your vacuum tubes go on, so we're going to have to pull the vacuum tubes. That's where they are on the bike with the tank removed. Next up, we've got the connector that goes here. This is the fuel pump power, and you can use a little screwdriver or something to pry the little spring clip back. This here is the quick connect for the fuel line, and you press it in on the right and left side. Now here you can see, looking underneath the gas tank, you can see the button there. So I put a finger on one side and pressed in, a finger on the other side and pressed in, and it pulled up. And then we've got this green wiring connector here that goes for the fuel level, and you got a little spring tab in there. Press down on it and you pull the wire connectors apart, and then you kind of wiggle and jiggle and you pull the gas tank off. Now, this is the ABS system on it, and we're going to need to remove the 3 Allen screws that hold that in place and lift it up. And you're going to need that. I'll show you here in just a half a second here. We're going to remove the 4 Allen screws holding the valve cover on it. The washers under the Allen screws have a metal top and a rubber bottom. Remember to put them back in the correct orientation. And then you want to gently pry the valve cover up off of the head. You need to kind of break the seal of the gasket for the valve cover. See where I'm trying to lift the valve cover up, and it is pushing the ABS up. You're not going to get it out without loosening the ABS. While I'm at it, I went ahead and loosened up the horns to try to get them out of the way. Give me just as much room as possible, because I know that that's a tight fit going into this here, and damn thing was not coming off. It simply would not clear. So I didn't know if the rocker on the valve assembly was maybe in the wrong place. I tried to remove the spark plugs, turn the crank a little bit using the 17mm wrench there. You just take a 14mm hex drive, remove the cover, and then you take a 17mm socket and turn the crankshaft. And there is my little gorgeous lump of weld snot. It's about a 1/4 of an inch sticking down. And that is what prohibited me from lifting the valve cover up. It just did not give me enough room. I tried gently persuading it, And then I decided, you know what, let's loosen up the engine mounts and drop the front of the engine down just a little bit. All it needed was about 1/8 of an inch or so to clear it there. And I gave it a tap. I know the exhaust is still on the bike there, but we needed just a little bit, right? And finally, yep, it came loose, came off. Looked like I knew what the hell I was doing. I didn't booger up the valve cover too bad. Got a couple of little divots in there. Nothing major. The gasket will easily seal that. Clean out the grooves in the valve cover so you won't have any problems. Now the gasket has some silicone on it where the little half moon is. Now we're ready to start doing some valve adjusting. Okay, so 17mm socket. We're going to turn the crankshaft counterclockwise, and we're going to align the timing mark here on the cam where the valve block assembly bolts onto the head. And let's zero in here. See that red line there? Yep. You need to get that lined up dead nut with that little bitty seam there. All right, so I've got a feeler gauge in there, and you're going to want to set your intake valves, which are the valves on the back, and you're going to want to set the intake valves at 3/1000ths of an inch or 0.080 millimeters. Our good old American feeler gauges here, I could not find one that was basically a metric based one, and the closest I could get was 0.076 millimeters. So it's so close, let's call it 0.080. And your exhaust, you're going to want to set at 0.007 of an inch or 0.180. The American ones that we got here is 0.178 millimeter, which is so close. Hey, it's good enough here. All right, you see that little arrow there? Yeah, there's the gap where you're going to want to put your feeler gauge. And it's a feeler gauge. You do it by feel. You back off on the brass or bronze nut there, about 1/4 of a turn. Then you can adjust it, and you slide the feeler gauge in there, and you want to get it a little bit of a snug fit, enough to where it pulls back with some resistance, because once you tighten up that brass nut, it kind of lifts the adjuster a little bit, and it gets a little bit looser. So you get the adjustment done, rotate the crankshaft, check it again, and you want to get it tight enough to where it feels like you're pulling the feeler gauge off of a magnet. You want a little bit of a tug there. It's called a feeler gauge. You want to feel some friction. Do your exhaust. Remember, exhaust is 0.007 of an inch. Then we're going to turn the crankshaft to the R position here, and we're going to do the same measurements on the intake and the exhaust on the right-hand side. All right, I did not look forward to lowering the engine, dealing with that every time, so I decided, yep, I'm going to grind just the goober snot that's hanging down on this here and get rid of that. I'm not going to grind on the frame at all. Didn't grind the frame, just ground off the majority of that little blob of weld that was hanging down here. Got out my angle grinder, which is kind of a crude tool to do it. I got the majority of the weld blob off, and then I pulled out my Dremel tool and did some fine detail work to get it done, and I hit it with some black gloss paint, and we're good to go. All right, so let's take a look at the valve cover. This is with the gasket on. See the area in red? That's where I put some silicone seal on the valve cover, put the gasket in to hold it in place. The yellow area, I did not put any silicone seal, and I'll show you why. Okay, you do not want any excess silicone seal to be inside of that valve cover. A little blob of that silicone seal gets loose, and it'll get into an oil passage, and you'll wind up toasting your engine. So wipe every bit of it clean to make sure you don't grenade your engine. All right, boys and girls? So I didn't put silicone on the front edge there that's going to be sliding in and rubbing against the valve assembly. That way I could tuck the gasket up inside the valve cover. And once I started sliding it in here, it looked so easy. You didn't see me fully pull it on there because I was so busy dancing, and I'm not going to show me twerking on video here. All right, so once you get it in place there, you want to pull the gasket down, get it fully seated into the valve cover. And then I put a little bit of silicone seal on the head where the little half circle area on the gasket goes in to help seal that. We want to put the 4 valve cover Allen screws in. Don't forget you've got the washers that have the rubber bottom on them. Don't over tighten it. We're just smooshing down on the gasket and the washers so we don't have oil seeping out. You want to tighten up the screws, put the screws in, tighten up the ABS on it here, put your spark plug in, give it a nice little crank. It's got crush washers. I just do it by hand, do it by feel. Had to put my horns back on. I don't really think you have to take the horns off. It gives you a little bit more room. You want to put the crankcase cover on where you can access the crankshaft bolt. Now then, we've got the little brackets on the gas tank that go over the rubber bumpers there. You've got the green wire in front. You've got the gas nozzle there in the middle, so to speak. You have the wires for the fuel pump, and then you have the 2 vent hoses. Now we're ready to finish this bad boy up here. Go ahead and tighten up the bolts on the fuel tank. Make sure you tighten up your engine mount bolts if you had to go to that extreme to get that little bit of wiggle room. Next, let's see what happens. I let the bike warm up for a couple of minutes. I was ready with the kill switch in case it sounded like something was coming loose. Let the bike warm up. Lift the throttle just gently a couple of times. Make sure nothing goes flying apart. Everything looked great. I checked all the way around the gasket, no seeps, and we was ready to go down the road. No problems, no oil leaks. That area where I kind of scratched up the valve cover there, it was just very minor scratches. The gasket easily sealed that, no leaks whatsoever. The bike performs really good. I noticed it's just a little bit crisper on the get up and go here. I'm still in the break-in stage here, so I'm not hitting the rev limiter or nothing. So I'm glad I could share with you my experience. And if you think this will be helpful to anybody, give it a thumbs up. There's a subscribe button. I have more Royal Enfield 650 content coming and my Triumph Speed 400. We're going to be kind of comparing the two here. And of course, I'm going to be doing, if it has wheels and a motor, like motorized bikes, I'm going to be doing some stuff there. I've got a V2 100cc kit that's on a bicycle. I'm going to be doing some reviews there. I'm going to put an expansion chamber on it. We're going to have fun, play with wheels. I want to thank you for watching. Take care.